Hey, JulesBlessedVegan, and as always, welcome to my channel. And for those of you who are new, I know you can benefit. So thanks for your support regarding my dog, Mercy. You know, we brought her home from the hospital yesterday, and oh my gosh, like she literally has a 20-inch incision from her collarbone down there, if you will. I mean, oh my goodness, I had no idea, and that's only on one side. I couldn't even tell her that in a month from now they plan on doing the other side. I am just trusting the process, but it was just significant, let's just put it that way. So continued prayers, please, because she's a little, she's feeling a little punished. Like, why are we keeping her in the restroom when she has 4 siblings to play with? And I'm like, girl, you just need a couple of down days so that we can even get a sense of where you're at. But she's so beautiful. All right, so my topic is on the herb rosemary. And the funny backstory is a couple days ago, I did All Things Thyme, the herb thyme, Thyme. And I happily posted a picture of thyme in my garden, only to be schooled by someone who said, I love how much rosemary you have. And I'm like, wait, rosemary? That's thyme. And they're like, yeah, as in it's time for you to learn your herbs. So yes. So my bad. So if you're like, is it Groundhog Day? How am I seeing the same icon on a different video? It's because I went back and corrected the icon on thyme. And now I understand why they were saying that it had a bunch of purple flowers, because it has a bunch of purple flowers, and it's a much gentler looking plant. Rosemary is kind of tough, it reminds me of definitely any evergreen I've ever seen, but there are a couple of small purple flowers. Nothing like thyme, okay? So anyway, now I've got that straight. So I've reposted rosemary, which was standing in for thyme until I learned the right thing. But I still want to talk about the benefits of rosemary. Another funny thing was that when we first moved here 2 years ago, there were a bunch of rose bushes in the garden, and there still are, and they're beautiful. And so we dedicated the garden to the Virgin Mary because she's often represented by the rose. And then I find out that instead of thyme, I have a rosemary bush. What? So God. So it's a blessing. But let me share you all about rosemary. And of course, I will put this in the description of the video. And it comes from Medical News Today. And they're required to put things like side effects now and all of those. And they're certainly warranted in you considering them depending on what your diet and medical situation is. One of them would have affected me, but because I'm off all medication, I can rock and roll with rosemary. So first it says everything you need to know about rosemary. Rosemary is a fragrant evergreen herb native to the Mediterranean. It seems like so many of these are, right? It is used as a culinary condiment to make bodily perfumes and for its potential health benefits. Man, fragrant is an understatement. I agree with that. Rosemary is a member of the mint family, so just like thyme. But a different branch of it is called Lamiaceae, I don't know, along with many other herbs such as, and here they reference the family of oregano, thyme, basil, and even lavender. No wonder people like to put those together. They complement each other. The herb not only tastes good in culinary dishes, but it is also a good source of iron, calcium, and vitamin B6. It is typically prepared as a whole dried herb or a dried powdered extract, while teas and liquid extracts are made from fresh or dried leaves. A range of rosemary products, of course, is available to purchase online. The herb has been hailed since ancient times for its medicinal properties. Rosemary was traditionally used to help alleviate muscle pain, improve memory, boost the immune and circulatory system, and promote hair growth. So I dig all of that. But had I been doing rosemary instead of thyme, maybe my memory would have already been boosted. And I would have known the difference. I have a really excellent memory. Okay, so some fast facts. This is always for people who can't make it through an article. They seem to give a really quick summary. Fast facts: rosemary is a perennial plant, which means it lives more than 2 years. The leaves are often used in cooking. Possible health benefits include improved concentration, yes please, digestion, and brain aging, which we'll talk more about. Very high doses, though, may cause vomiting, coma, and pulmonary edema. So you can't mess with rosemary. It's a blessing, but it can become a curse, like so many things, right? Then they have a beautiful picture of it, which looks just like mine on the front, the icon for the video. And it says rosemary has a range of possible health benefits. Number 1, antioxidants and anti-inflammatory compounds, which is so important. Rosemary is a rich source of antioxidants and anti-inflammatory compounds, which are thought to help boost the immune system, which is so needed right now. Are you kidding me? With all the crazy infections going around and some new ones that are just foreign to us, how's your body going to fight it off unless you're doing some of these herbs, unless you're choosing a healthy, plant-based, and even vegan and raw vegan in particular diet? A lot of people aren't going to fight things off with all the nonsense that's in their body. So boosts the immune system and improves blood circulation. Laboratory studies, and I'm interested in that because I think I've told you how my hands literally freeze and my fingers will turn pure white. Luckily, I mean, it's better than turning black. I mean, it's not like I have total, whatever it's called, but it's bad. It's really bad. Like parts of my fingers and hands just turn ice white. So that seems to be for lack of circulation. Because I'm really low blood pressure. I'm super mellow. As spastic as I am, I'm super mellow on the inside. So I would like to improve my blood circulation. Laboratory studies have shown rosemary to be rich in antioxidants, which play an important role in neutralizing harmful particles called free radicals, which we all need to be aware of and mostly know how to fight against them, like using rosemary. Improving digestion, and so many of you guys talk about your digestive ailments. In Europe, rosemary is often used to help treat indigestion. In fact, Germany's Commission E has approved rosemary for the treatment of indigestion. However, it should be noted that there is currently no meaningful science, which is so true. The people who actually pay for science to be done aren't paying for herbs, okay? They're mostly on the other side, trying to pay for people to stay sick and prove that they're going to be sick unless they take their product. All right. Enhancing memory and concentration. According to research outlined in Therapeutic Advances in Psychopharmacology, you guys, like, that's your best read every week, right? Right there with the Inquirer. Let's say that again. Therapeutic Advances in Psychopharmacology. And it's a hyperlink, so you can click on it. The aroma, and I agree, oh my goodness, from rosemary can improve a person's concentration, performance, speed, and accuracy, and to a lesser extent, their mood. It improves my mood every time. When I get in that garden and I pick up some rosemary, it's just like, oh my goodness, it is a blessing for me. And people will be like, well, I thought you said you had asthma and I thought things bother you. I do, and they do. But how it works is that a rose is a blessing to me. I can smell one beautiful rose. But when they take 1,000 of them and they concentrate them into a 2-ounce bottle, it's too much. Then it becomes synthetic, and it's too much for anybody. You know, it's just too much. So, yes, I can enjoy nature's beauty, but I can't enjoy what man has done to it, if that makes sense. Okay, so neurological, the brain, neurological protection. Scientists have found that rosemary may also be good for your brain. Rosemary contains an ingredient called carnosic acid, which can fight off damage from free radicals in the brain. Man, I knew there were free radicals running around in my brain. A bunch of hippies saying, I don't even want to say all the things they say, but those guys are radicals and they run around free. Some studies in rats, and God bless the rats, have identified that rosemary might be useful for people who have experienced a stroke. Praise God. Rosemary appears to be protective against brain damage and might improve recovery. Bring that on, right? My father had a major stroke after already experiencing what's called Lewy body dementia, which is where it appears in your body first. Like you go to reach for something and your hand won't respond properly. So it starts in your body, in the movements in your body. And then sadly, it went on to a stroke. But to be fair, he drank for years. Like there were many behaviors that ultimately resulted in that. And finally at 78, he left the planet on his own accord, meaning he literally resisted food and water for 3 weeks till he died. And that was his gig. And I'm sorry for that. And he's so beautiful. And I wish he lasted longer, but that just wasn't his walk. But I love that for people who are open to wellness, they could choose rosemary to help with a stroke and against brain damage. So just logically, why would any of this be true? Well, we already said it improves circulation. So strokes are often from clogged arteries, right, in the brain. So that makes perfect sense. I like this a lot. It says preventing brain aging, the actual aging of the brain. Some studies have suggested that rosemary may significantly help improve the prevention of brain aging. The therapeutic ability of rosemary for prevention of Alzheimer's shows promise. But of course, more studies are needed, and that'll always be true. It's where the money is. But we know it won't hurt, right? Cancer. Research published in Oncology Reports, and again, that's a hyperlink, found that crude ethanolic rosemary extract, also known as RO, slowed the spread of human leukemia and breast carcinoma cells. Oh my goodness. If I'd given this to my dog, she wouldn't be dealing with I have no words today. I told you guys I'm so tired, but I'm so blessed to be with you. Metastatic, cancer or anything. Who knew? But I know now, right? We can only do what we know. And, praise God, I donated bone marrow to save a guy's life who had leukemia. Okay, another study published in Bioscience, Biotechnology, and Biochemistry, it's a lot of bios, concluded that rosemary might be useful as an anti-inflammatory and anti-tumor agent again. Had I known, and I certainly know now and may be able to implement it in my dogs, it could have resisted those tumors. Also a report published in the Journal of Food Science, we're so interested in that, added that rosemary extract, not so much, but for those of you who still eat meat, it said adding rosemary extract to ground beef reduces the formation of cancer-causing agents that can develop during cooking. Might I lovingly suggest, and that's a line from Tanny Rod. If you don't know her, look it up on any social media platform. But whenever she's about to drop a bomb, she'll say, might I lovingly suggest. So I'm going to say that here. Might I lovingly suggest that rather than outrunning the cancer-causing agents that are forming in your cooked food, you choose not to cook food and just go raw plant and vegetables for the win. What? Yeah. All right. And then finally, this is so fantastic too. Protection against macular degeneration. Oh my gosh, I need to tell this to my mother. She's 87 and super well and lovely, but she just found out in one eye she has some macular degeneration. But hello, I will avoid that and I can help improve her. A study published in the journal Investigate Ophthalmology and Visual Science, led by Dr. Stuart A. Lipton, PhD, and colleagues at Sanford Burnham Medical Research Institute, revealed that a carnosic acid, which is a major component of rosemary, may significantly promote eye health. Yay God. This could have clinical applications for diseases affecting the outer retina, such as age-related macular degeneration. I mean, yeah, she's already 87 and is just starting. Love that. Most common eye disease in the United States. Wow. And it's not just for age-related, but it is the most common eye disease in the United States. So interesting, people. Let's get on with our rosemary. I want these baby blues to not only look good, but work. Okay, so then down here. potential side effects. I love all the scientific evidence that they provided. Potential side effects, and again, don't freak out. These are like things they have to mention no matter what, but we certainly need to be responsible in being aware. Rosemary is usually safe when taken in low doses. This is the problem. People will say, well, if some's good, more is better. Yeah, that's a no. Rosemary is usually safe when taken in low doses. However, extremely large doses can trigger serious side effects, although this is rare. So even people taking large doses need to know that this is still rare for people taking large doses. Side effects include vomiting, spasms, coma, and pulmonary edema, which is fluid in the lungs. High doses of rosemary may cause miscarriage. That's super important to know. Therefore, it's not advisable for pregnant women to take any supplemental rosemary just while you're pregnant. And then here's some drug interactions, because rosemary can affect the way some medications work. 1, anticoagulant drugs. These include blood-thinning medications such as Warfarin, Aspirin, and Clopidogrel. So watch that, because if you're already on blood thinners, you could be in trouble because it thins the blood naturally. ACE. So much easier to just sign it. ACE inhibitors. These are used for treating high blood pressure. They include lisinopril, which is Zestril, fosinopril, which is Monopril, captopril, which is Capitan, and enalapril, which is Vasotec. So they're giving both the actual and the generic, so people know. Again, people are already taking prescription med to help high blood pressure when this does it naturally, so you don't want to double dose. Diuretics. These increase the passing of urine and include hydrochlorothiazide and furosemide, which is Lasix. So again, this is a natural diuretic. Don't double dose. What you can certainly do is put in a teeny bit of rosemary, and as your numbers improve at the doctor, you can suggest you want to continue to get rid of the prescription medication in lieu of adding the natural rosemary. That's what I did to help with my thyroid, which I no longer take medication for. I know. Applause, applause. Okay, and finally, lithium. This is one I was going to talk about because for years labeled a... One moment, please. Anyway, labeled a manic depressive and later the trend of bipolar. I took lithium for 20 years, and it's a sodium carbonate, and I was grateful to take it, and it was great for me. The problem was I was taking it with Motrin, 800 milligram Motrin, and that was doubling the lithium in my kidneys and absolutely destroying my kidneys. God woke me up with grace, and I was able to turn that around through diet and getting off of those medications. But I was grateful for lithium. I'm not going to put lithium down. It was a blessing for me and got me through much of the hardest part of my life. But I no longer take any prescription medications. And so it says for lithium, this is used to treat manic episodes of manic depression. Rosemary can act as a diuretic and cause lithium to reach toxic levels in the body because it's just being, processed too quickly through the kidneys and the urethra and everything else. So I so get that. And those are all the hot tips. I'm sure there's way more, but it was a good amount. I'm going to include in the description of the video. I'm going to put those warnings in case you never, it's not a video, it's a talk, but in case you never get to them. And I just wanted to clarify what rosemary is compared to what I already shared, which was thyme. All right, peeps. If you like joining us, if you haven't subscribed, I am going to incorporate rosemary in small doses for many of those benefits, including memory, which I love, and prevention of some of those potential diseases which can come in time. We're talking about rosemary. I know, not to confuse you. So as always, like if you like, join us if you haven't subscribed. Know that I pray for you, and until we talk again, best of all, know that you are blessed.